I'm Rean Schwarzer, and you're listening to the Giant Sword Podcast. Microphones, activate!
Hello, and welcome to this week's Giant Sword Podcast. I'm your party leader, Nick Lynn. Joining me today is Taylor Hoyt.
Hey, what's up?
And our special guest, Sean Chiplock.
I'm the bard!
He is the bard.
Let me sing you the song of my people.
Oh, lovely. I can see why they named you the bard.
I wrote it myself while trying to scare off bears in the forest. Please don't leave me alone. I'm helpless.
I'm trying to imagine somebody actually doing that.
I'm not allowed at my local LARP group anymore.
Isn't that a video?
No.
I've seen something like that.
It is now. Somebody just clicked.
Yeah, someone just
clipped it.
There you go. Anyway,
Oh.
how's everyone?
I'm doing pretty good. Yourself?
Crazy work week. I'm very tired, very sore.
Yep.
I moved from mornings to nights, and that's why this podcast has been kind of random right now. It's trying to get life in order. And then Taylor.
Good on you for still making the time for it, because like I know a lot of people who just be like, I'm too tired, I don't want to do it. So major respect, man.
People are getting worried. People are like, "Where's episode 100? Where's episode 100?" And it's like, well, we had plans for a bunch of guests, and they keep being moved, and we have to make it sure everyone's schedules fits together.
Well, I'm glad I could be your last resort.
Yeah. No, it was you and someone else together. So you're always part of the plan.
It's like, it's episode 100, so we need a 1 and 2 zeros. Now the question is, who's the 2 zeros?
Crap, it's us.
Damn it.
No, that's not what I was implying. I was trying to say I'm one of the zeros. Now you guys need to fight over which one of you is the other.
Sure.
It's too late.
Too late. You've already said it.
You gotta lay in it now.
Kick Chiplock.
Yeah. I accept it, though. I am a zero. Yeah, Taylor, you've been busy with work. Sean has a big news. Everyone's been wondering.
Oh, that's right.
Everyone's been wondering. This specific moment.
I am voicing the background tree in the next Crash Bandicoot game.
Oh,
Yes.
Crash Team
Finally.
Racing. Sweet.
I really just wanted my career to branch out. I didn't want to just leave it where it was, but I tried my hardest, and I managed to get it. It was my dream role. When I was told that I booked the tree, I was honestly stumped. But if anyone would do that role, I would.
Well, it's really great to see you going back to your roots.
Yep, for sure. But I guess at the same time, I also got called back for this role called Rean Schwarzer in Trails of Coldsteel 3.
Oh.
I guess we can talk about that if you want.
But that wasn't the news. The news I was talking about was, how'd you do in Genesis?
Genesis. Okay, so I didn't do as well as I wanted to, but I did better than I was expecting. Because I made it out of my round 1 pools and immediately drowned in round 2. Like, first match, I lost. But it was an interesting case because my second match of round 1, I lost to a Palutena. And I was just really upset. It was like, I know Palutena's a better character, but it's not like I don't have matchup experience. It was just really frustrating for me. But I proceeded to win through 4 or 5 different matches in losers to make it out of my pools. So I definitely put the work in. So I think if you lost first match of round 2, it was something like 300th, 350th, something like that. But there were over 4,000 entrants in the tournament.
Wow.
So again, it's not something I'm gonna brag about or tout about, because I definitely should have done better or could have done better. But it's nothing to poo-poo, because making it out of pools is a big deal when you have to play 6 different matches just to escape. So yeah, it was okay. I did a lot better yesterday at Heart of Battle, because that I made it out of pools, and that was top 48. and out of 400 entrants. So yeah, I keep getting like that top 10%, but I want to get better. I'm making slow but steady growth as Mega Man, getting more used to his skills. I think there are ways there I stand to improve a lot more, and I think there's better placings yet to come for me.
Cool. So that's your guy, Mega Man.
Mm-hmm.
It's always Mega
Nice.
Man. So how do you feel about sword users?
The Spaceys are dangerous, man. Lucina's a beast. The ease with which they can punish you with their aerials without putting themselves in danger is a lot of characters in Ultimate are frightening now, man. Zelda's way better. Palutena got Explosive Flame and instantly jumped up like 2 tiers. Lucina's really good. In fact, to a certain degree, she's better than Marth until you get to like super high level play. Just everyone has their strengths. It really does feel like each character can present their own challenge.
I just remember when they announced that everyone's going to be there. I'm like, yes, finally, I can play Wolf again. And I didn't expect him to be as good as he is. And I love Wolf.
Yeah.
And I annoy people with my Wolf because of my lasers.
I'm still figuring out. Like my match, I played against Wolf yesterday when I played against K9 in like winners quarters or something like that. And even though I lost to him, that was like the least stressful set I did. It felt like as long as I avoided falling into his aerial combos, it was pretty easy to keep my space from him and just kind of set my pace for the match. The 2 matches before that, the Palutena and the Game & Watch, were way more stressful. Both of them went to game 3 last hit, and both of them I felt like I was going to lose. I just lucked out. So Wolf doesn't scare me a lot yet, but I feel like maybe once I play some better players who use him, I'll understand how good he is.
We should join us for our nightly Smash games.
Mm-hmm.
So what character ended up winning the tournament?
Let me look real quick. Heart of Battle brackets. Heart of Battle brackets. Smash GG. All right, let's see. Top 16.
It's going to be a sword user.
Probably. Or Inkling.
Oh, that was Plant Gang. I'm Hip won the Plant Gang. Bracket. Overview. Sorry, I went to the wrong brackets. Here we go. Standings. Back to all events. There we go. Ultimate singles. And brackets championship. MK Leo. It looks like MK Leo grand final. What? Okay, so MK Leo was in grand finals. Mars reset the bracket, but then MK Leo came back and won it 3-1. So I think MK Leo uses... Oh god, who did he use? I don't remember. I know that back in Smash 4 he used Marth, so he might have used a sword character. But I believe he also messes around with... Fox? I'm not sure. You'd have to check the VODs. The VODs are on Twitch for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Sweet. So
yeah, that name sounds familiar. I've heard of him before. Or her.
you were really enjoying Ultimate?
It's I tell people, well, first of all, what is the language barrier of this podcast? Is it PG-13? Is it R? Is it family friendly?
No,
whatever. We'll bleep it out if we think it's too bad.
At the same time that I love this game, I regularly tell people screw this game because like the stress it gives me is so it's so bad. I hate it. It always makes me so like stressed out. It feels so intense, but I like the challenge that it gives me. It forces me to play better.
It's a lot harder. It's a lot more intense.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially heavy characters.
Mm-hmm.
Every heavy character has armor now, and it's just like, oh, I'm gonna get you in this combo. Oh wait, I'm not even touching you. I'm gonna get Ganon punched in the face.
By the way, Mars went Zero Suit Samus and MK Leo went Wolf, so he did play Wolf in Grand
Oh
Finals,
wow,
and he did win with Wolf.
Cool.
Nice.
Yep.
See, Wolf number 1.
Number 1.
It's 'cause I think Wolf has the same thing sword users have with his claws.
Oh, for sure.
Because I know that I like his hitbox is huge when he uses his side tilt.
Well, he's so quick too, isn't he? Like fast like a sword user.
You mean Wolf?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the speed. It's his ability to combo into his own stuff. Like falling fair, he can short hop fair the same way Sheik used to in Smash 4. Except they have a lot more oomph than Sheik's attacks did. And for pretty much most characters, he can do falling fair into grab, down throw, into dash attack, and that's a true combo. So he has good ways to rack up damage early on, but because he's not a light character like Sheik, he does have kill options as well.
Like his back air.
His back air can kill. His up smash will pick up people who are standing next to him. So he's got a lot of good options.
Interesting.
He's scary.
You got to respect him for sure.
So
it's kind of crazy just how many characters are in the game and like how like it's pretty balanced considering there's like what 75 characters or something.
Yep.
That's
what I'm saying. You can't sleep on anyone. They've gotten so much better just in general.
Like Luigi. I don't know why I'm so bad against Luigi.
I'm sorry, you mean Green Waluigi?
Yeah, Green Waluigi. Don't know why. But what? Taylor, you gonna say something?
No.
Nope.
I was coughing, sorry.
All right. So Sean predicted that Nippon Ichi was gonna grab Coldsteel 3. I think he already knew last episode.
I predicted it?
No, last episode you said that Nippon Ichi might be getting Coldsteel 3. There's a chance.
I mean, that was my best guess because they're the only other company that I know of besides Exceed that would be interested in a franchise like that, just based on who I know that publishes stuff. And both Exceed and NIS America tend to do a lot of niche titles and want to give them a chance to succeed in the West. That's kind of a lot of what their company is built around, or at least started off with. So I had a good hunch that if it wasn't going to be Exceed, that it was going to be NIS America.
Well, I think correct me if I'm wrong, but at least back in the day when I had regular communication with those guys, I think Exceed and NIS work like their offices are pretty close to each other. Or maybe that's what's the other guy who did Xanadu, Nick?
Arxis.
Arxis. Maybe it was. I think I'm thinking. No, that's not Arxis.
It's Axis or something like that.
Axis Games. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of them.
It's AKSYS.
Yeah. But I know two of those.
No, I remember very briefly dropping by where Exceed Games was, and I think their office is in Torrance. So you might be thinking of Axis Games.
Okay, maybe that's
or Arc System Works. I'm not sure.
Capcom. They're all in California.
Yeah.
Capcom's on the moon trying to milk Mega Man for more money.
It's working.
When is that? When is Mega Man X10? When is it?
When is Mega Man Battle Network Collection?
Oh, there you
Nintendo Switch.
There you go.
How many are there? Like
6.
6? Yeah, 6.
There's 6. There's 6 plus network transmission on the GameCube, which was kind of an in-between from 1 and 2. Yes.
It's amazing. Like when they do sub-series, they do a lot of them. But the real sequel that we're all wondering, where's Mega Man Soccer 2? I mean, come on.
That's true.
Everybody's been asking for it, you know?
I think no, it's gonna be Mario and Mega Man at the Olympic soccer games.
There you go.
Because we already had Ace Strikers or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That game was strangely very addicting.
Yeah, I can see it.
So yeah, what has that process been like for you? Speaking of Coldsteel 3, I mean, like I know a lot of the same people from XE have been like helping on the Coldsteel script and stuff like that. So how has that transition been like?
This may seem anticlimactic, but it may also be a ray of hope for people in that it honestly just feels like a streamlined, more efficient, more familiar version of what happened with Coldsteel 1 and 2, you know? When I found out that I was going to be coming back, the first thing I did was, set aside time to play through some of the game, watch videos on YouTube, reorient myself with the plot details from the first 2 games so that I'd understand, where I was starting from coming into the third game. and it felt no different than the first two games did, you know, with the exception of, oh, there's, you know, staff from NIS America here instead of staff from Exceed. But again, you know, we had Brittany, we had Val from PCB, we had pretty much the same motley crew of people that I worked with during the first two games there. And I came in understanding most of the story for 3, you know, or if I didn't, there was a certain section I didn't know, I learned about it before we got to recording it, so I never felt like I was falling behind. You know, they were able to provide the context. I delivered reads. I felt like I'd improved as an actor. It was literally just more of the same, except because we all knew each other and I was more familiar with the role and I had improved as an actor, it just sounded better and was more efficient than the last 2 times. And I'm sure you guys, excuse me, might have seen the tweet thread that I made where I was like, guys, this is the best work I have done with Rean Schwarzer to date. And I do not say that lightly because I am my own harshest critic when it comes to my performances. So people need to be excited. At this point, I think from what I said, we are 20 lines away from being done with all of the storylines that Rean has, that I voice. And then all that's left are like the battle callouts, the side scene stuff. So I'll definitely have to make sure my voice is in tip-top shape for that. But once that's recorded, which I think is only going to take like 1 session, maybe 2, if we decide to cut the first one early to save my throat, that's it. Like, Rean's done.
Until Coldsteel 4.
Until Coldsteel. Please. I never make any assumptions because, like, you know, I was a huge Etrian Odyssey fan, and Etrian Odyssey 4 and 5 did really well for how niche they were, and the Untold series did fine. But then Nexus came out and it's totally Japanese. It's only English text. There's no English voices whatsoever. And then Persona Q2 didn't do very well in Japan. So when that got localized, which first of all, it's a miracle it even got localized in the first place, that also is not getting an English dub. So you never know.
Yeah, that was really surprising to hear that, especially with how popular Persona got after Persona 5. My thing is, I can't believe Persona Q2 is not on Switch. Like, I feel like they shot themselves in the foot with that, because like
by publishing it on 3DS instead.
Yeah, I mean, I love 3DS. It's got a bunch of great games, but people have clearly, you know, moved on. There's a couple like games that are coming, like Yokai Watch 3 just came out, and obviously Etrian Odyssey just came out. But
it lends itself really well. Like, see, here's the problem. Oh, see, I always think of the Switch as being similar to the Wii U, and like you can play a game on the TV, but the Switch also has its own screen. So I was like, oh, well, it would lend itself to stuff like Etrian Odyssey really well because you can draw your map on the handheld portion, and you can play the game on the. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So that's interesting because a huge part of Etrian Odyssey was using the bottom screen to map your progress. So.
Yeah,
they said it's the last game on the 3DS, and I'm like, well, there's not really another console that can do what you did on the 3DS, so yikes.
It's probably gonna be a button, like a menu. You press a button, and the menu pops up and you draw it.
No. The whole point was being able to make notes at the same time that you were in battle. Having to push a button to constantly bring up a map to draw every time you take 2 or 3 steps. Nope.
Not gonna do good.
Nope. Not gonna do well.
No, I totally hear you, because I feel like, to me, that, like, I'm so OCD with stuff like that. Like, half the appeal was drawing the map to me.
Yeah.
So if that's not there, that sucks.
If we assume the next Etrian Odyssey game came out on the Switch, there's only 2 ways they could make the same mechanics work. Either, as you said, you have to push a button to bring up a menu to draw on the map, which you would then have to do every 3 to 4 steps if you wanted to make sure you took meticulous notes, or I don't know. Either it would just automatically fill it in as you walked, but the problem is that defeats the entire purpose of what Etrian Odyssey's pull was, which was you create the map. You are responsible for the quality of your own map making. So, I don't know.
And what about the people who play on the TV?
Right.
What's gonna happen, man?
Yeah, because I know there have been games that have been experimenting with like only in handheld mode, like the game only works in handheld mode. So I'm wondering if they would do something like that. But like you said, like, well, so speaking of other Falcom games, so like Tokyo Xanadu came out, and that game didn't have a localization either. It was just it was all the Japanese voice acting. So
Oh, interesting. Okay. I almost feel like at some point didn't they publish articles saying that like Xanadu was going to have a dub? Like did maybe I misread, or maybe something happened where I don't know, where they just figured, oh, never mind, you know, since the company is changing hands, or since we can't really allocate budget to this anymore, we're gonna have to back off on the dub. But I don't know. I don't know how often that happens.
I'm not sure. I just know that I'm just amazed that we even got Tokyo Xanadu. So that's very niche.
Like, I'm also grateful if as long as they weren't going to do an English dub, I'm still glad we got Nexus, because my experience with it so far has been, so far I've recognized all the labyrinths that I've been in. Like the first one was from Etrian Odyssey 4, the second one was from Etrian Odyssey 5, but the twist it's providing in each labyrinth is keeping things from being too familiar, and I'm really enjoying it as a result. Like, I'm only like 2 or 3 labyrinths in, and I think there's like 14 in the game. It's
whoa.
yeah.
It's probably like a 100-hour game then.
Like, I think people said you get access to subclasses around the 8th labyrinth, and I am someone who plans an end game party. Like, I always suffer in the early game because my party's not designed to be able to like wipe out people early on. It's, oh, you're going to struggle because you're kind of building up their passives and nothing's going to be really good. But by the time you add the subclass, they're going to be really good at what they do, and the subclasses are going to make them even better. So it's definitely a late game party. So right now I'm just like, oh, no one's working together. They're just kind of throwing crap out and hoping they survive. And then someone tells me, oh yeah, well, you'll get subclasses in Labyrinth 8. And I just now finished with number 3. And I'm like, no, please, please give me my subbies.
I always love that stuff in games like an Octopath, when you can unlock your subclass. It always it changes the whole dynamic of a game. You can like really customize like that. It's so fun.
The main reason for me is because in Etrian Odyssey 4 and 5, I had a class that focused on elemental links. And just the TLDR is they would attack with an elemental link, and then anytime another party member hit the same enemy, the linker would follow up and do additional damage. So if you had good synergy, you could get multiple hits, have them following up time after time after time. Well, because the new class in Nexus is really good, their main draw is they have a % chance to, whenever they use an attack skill, they can spawn an extra copy of themselves that will use that same skill the following turn. Does that make sense?
Okay,
So it's in my best interest to main them so that I can max out that skill so that they have a very high chance of summoning a copy every turn, because having an extra character doing an extra attack is always better than, just being slightly stronger on your main attack, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So because I'm maining them for the meantime, I'm not going to have access to make them a linker until I get subclassing. So it's a trade-off where they're going to be really freaking strong and really good once they get that subclass, but in the meantime, they're just kind of throwing attacks out and nothing. Oh, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
Yep. Well, you are kind of doing it to yourself, Sean. You could have a stronger class.
I am biding my time, and I'm going, you are suffering now. It's like evening mode in Kingdom Hearts. It's everything's really slow right now, but by the time things get really difficult, you will be more than ready to tackle it. You're going to be plowing through those random battles. You're going to be taking down bosses. It will work. It will pay off. Just persist. Persist. Let it be tough while the game isn't being tough on you. When it's not throwing all these different ailments at you, when it's not doing a lot of BS tactics from the bosses. While they're still kind of playing nice, let it be difficult so that when they don't play nice anymore, you don't have to either.
There you go. Show them what's up.
I feel like we should probably change topic before this becomes a 2-hour Etrian Odyssey podcast. Actually, while you think of which, I'm going to grab something to drink real quick, because I'm running my throat dry. So give me just a second.
No worries.
All right. Okay, so we actually do have a pretty decent amount of news. So
it's been so long, I forget what we've talked about and what we haven't talked about.
Well, it's like all the news that happened. It's been actually pretty recent.
that's how you know I love you guys, because I eyed that bag of Fritos on the top of the fridge, and I was like, I really am hungry right now, but they don't want to hear me crunching the whole time during this interview.
As awesome as that would be.
So now let's move on to some news. Let me just.
All
right. So this is pretty much like release dates. Atelier Lulua launches May 21st in North America and May 24th in Europe.
Okay.
So Taylor,
don't play it on Switch. Just games are broken on Switch. Don't buy them on Switch.
Wait, what games are broken on Switch?
So Gus is this developer. They do all the Atelier games, and they do Knights of Azure, and I'm trying to think. They've done something else. Oh, Blue Reflection.
Okay.
But they all crash on me. Like I bought Atelier Maruru. They re-released it. It was a PS3 game. And every time I get to this one spot in the story, the game just crashes. I just cannot get past it. The game's broken. And then I had another game where it just the game probably crashed. I mean, no less than like 10 or 12 times, and it's a short game. So,
there was a cheapo game that I got on 3DS once. I think it was like $4 or something like that. It was a basic RPG, and for as basic as it was, I still enjoyed it because skills and stuff like that. But every 30 minutes, without fail, it would crash, guaranteed. And so I had to like constantly remind myself to save so I wouldn't lose my progress. But it just got too frustrating. It wasn't worth it.
That's kind of where I was at. I'm like, okay, save as often as you possibly can, because I hate that unpredictability. And yeah, I was extra peeved because I bought that game during Christmas and I was kind of like low on cash. I'm like, oh, this will be my Christmas game, and now I can't even finish it. That's fun. So
That sucks.
yeah, but
it's like the Secret of Mana remake where it crashed every time you entered like a new level.
oh
Hey! Don't talk poop about my game. I'm voiced in that game, man. All games I'm voiced in are perfect.
Have you ever been in an Atelier game or Atelier or whatever?
I have not. Is Atelier like one of those RPG / farming sim hybrids?
In a way. So the main premise, or the general premise, is you're like a cute little girl and you run like an alchemy shop, and people give you tasks, and so you'll go to like a field and collect items, and then you bring it back and you combine them to make items, and that's sort of the game loop. And there's combat, but yeah, that's kind of what those games are.
Okay.
It's very basic.
Yeah,
Okay.
very basic, but very pretty and charming, and there's always a cute girl in there.
The first question I always ask when people bring up waifus or stuff, is it a game with fan service elements or a fan service game with game elements?
I think it's the first. Yeah, it's not like Senran Kagura or something like that. It's like I think it's a game first.
It's not like this. All right, it's not like this. It's like cutesy stuff.
Yeah, it's cutesy. It's not lewd. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get that, Taylor? But not on Switch.
I feel like in protest I probably won't. I'm so mad at them, so I probably not.
Do you know if
Even on PS4?
Do you know if it's like Sophie, where it's just like open ended and do whatever you want? 'Cause I do not like that.
I don't know, but this is like the fourth in that trilogy from PS3, so it's weird that they're like continuing that. I don't know how it's gonna play. They switch it up every game. Always just slightly.
Well, it's in May, so we have end of May, so we have a long time to do that. Decide on that. Actually, next news. Ys Memory of Celceta is coming to PS4 in May.
Really?
May 16 in Japan.
Oh man, that's a blast from the past. You get to hear me voice Ozma, Gruda, and Leo in all of my amateur glory.
That's one of the few modern Ys games that I never beat, because I was so obsessed with completely filling the map out and like getting all the trophies, and then at one point I was like, I give up, and then I just never finished it. Interesting
factoid though, for those who are big fans of Trails of Coldsteel, hearing one of my voices from Memories of Celceta is what led Brittany to having me audition for Rean Schwarzer.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Nice.
So, because it was like 3 years after Memories of Celceta, and I guess they were in the process of like doing initial considerations for the cast, and Brittany goes, "Didn't Chiplock do some stuff for us in Memories of Celceta? Like, I feel like I heard him before. He might be a good fit for Rean. Let's reach out to him." So yeah, that was the catalyst that led to that.
So inevitably, you're going to have to be in Ys 9 then when that comes out. You've been in Celceta and 8. And
if they'll have me, if I'm good for it, if I'm a good fit for a role, I'm down for it.
Just don't be sick. Because if you have to re-record, what are the chances? I think that's so funny. Of all the roles that you were sick for, that was the one that you had to re-record.
And I managed to hit it. It was a challenge, but I managed to hit it. But I was so upset because being sick made playing Hummel so much easier. Because I was able to get that grunge in his voice without having to like pitch myself down. I could sound young but edgy at the same time. It was perfect. Oh.
Or just stay up late and sleep outside and get yourself sick, and then come in and be like, "All right, guys, I'm ready. Do it."
I'll just watch Inuyasha unironically, and then by morning I'll be sick with everything, like myself, my life.
Can you do Inuyasha's voice? Like, because he has a very unique voice.
You might want to turn your bass volume down. Kagome! Inuyasha! Otakon! Snake!
Nailed it.
There you go.
And I've never watched Inuyasha, but now I feel like
when I say
it.
When I say I watched Inuyasha, what I mean is I fell asleep sometime during Cowboy Bebop and then woke up during the Inuyasha end song.
There you go.
Anato sakokori umoto. I don't know.
Inuyasha is actually
by proxy, you just absorbed it.
Yeah, it's one of the first isekai game animes.
Oh, isekai.
Isekai.
Yeah.
Because it's a girl that.
No, it's Issei Kagome!
I bet you people are going to pick that up on my mic.
Oh my
It's going to be an echo.
Are you familiar with who Giguk is, Sean? He's like an anime
of course.
YouTuber.
No. He did one of my favorite videos, which was ReZero in 8 minutes.
Okay, I was just gonna ask you about that. Yeah.
No, because I asked him permission. I said, hey, if we ever get enough of the ReZero cast together at a panel, can we recreate ReZero in 8 minutes as a group? Like just do it live with the official cast.
Oh my god, that would have been amazing.
Just another boring day for Natsuki Subaru.
Who is he called? The Apple guy? He like calls him something funny, or
Mr. Save Point guy.
Guy, I have a name. That's funny, Mr. Save Point guy.
Well, if you can't have Amelia, at least you can have me.
I'm actually a boy.
No, you're frickin' not. No, really? I said, no, you're frickin' not.
Oh my god,
let's reel it in.
That is one of like my favorite videos. My all-time favorite.
Oh, I lost you.
We lost Taylor. No, he's back.
Oh no,
you're back, Taylor. You're back, Taylor.
One of my all-time favorite Giguk video is Darling in the Franxx in whatever minutes. Have you watched that show?
Yes.
Sean?
Yeah, I haven't watched the show, but I watched the whatever in whatever minutes.
Oh my god, it is awesome. Welcome to the Cuck Squad.
When she's screaming at him in AOL dial-up noises.
Oh my god.
Excuse me. Oh my god.
No, I'm not excusing you. That's your second warning. Third time and you're off. You're off the podcast.
All right.
Out of here.
Next topic. Kingdom Hearts 3 shipments and digital sales top 5 million worldwide.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. I think that's probably got to be up there with some of the best in the series, if not the best.
Have you played that? Have you finished it yet, Sean? Or have you played it?
Which one again?
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Hearts. No, I haven't. Okay, outside of my creating what I think the plot of Kingdom Hearts is on my SoundCloud, my wife is the big Kingdom Hearts buff, but she's been busy with Spyro and a couple other games, so she hasn't had time to work on Kingdom Hearts 3. It does look very visually pretty though, and I'm as a member of the Mega Man Legends fan club, I am very grateful that the Kingdom Hearts community got to have their third game actually released after 11 plus years. Kudos to you guys. Great. I wish I knew what that felt like.
But just imagine Mega Man Legends 3 releases, and then like the first 3 scenes are characters you've never seen before, if you've only played 1 and 2, and all these story bits that you have no idea what they are. That's what Kingdom Hearts 3 starts with. It's like, who are these characters? If you haven't, it's really funny.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is merchandising the series.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, that ending just goes on and on and on. And it keeps going.
No, there's 3 different endings.
It reminds me of Lord of the Rings. Like in Return of the King, like it's over. Oh, nope, keeps going. Oh, it's fine. Nope.
That's right. There's 3 different endings. There's the ending if you get the Ultima weapon. There's the normal ending, and then there's the special ending if Donald ever heals you at any point in the game. Which, my understanding is, no one has gotten that ending yet.
He doesn't heal. He never heals.
He's too busy being dead.
No, he doesn't die that much in this game.
No, he doesn't. He actually does heal. You have to go near him, though. He won't chase you down. You have to go find him.
He does an AoE heal. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. But you're right. It is very, like, it's a visual spectacle. Like, you get, like, these, like, attraction rides as special attacks, and then, like, every world you go to, you can team up with, like, somebody, and they have some new move, and then you get a summon, like, who is it, Simba,
I think it's because Donald doesn't want to interrupt whatever you're doing. He understands that you're the main character. So maybe he, like, readies the healing spell, but then you, like, change your Keyblade form, and he's like, oh, okay, he's doing something. I don't want to interrupt, so he doesn't heal you. Or, like, he sees that you're, like, going through the menu to use an item, and he's like, oh, I don't want to waste my heal. I'm going to save it for when you really need it, when you're out of items. So maybe the player has to, like, deliberately not do anything for, like, a solid minute so that Donald goes, okay, enough time has passed. Maybe it's safe for me to use a healing spell.
Because it wastes all his MP, so he has to think about it.
Right.
I think that's what happens. That makes more sense.
You're
just being courteous.
Of course, I'm just heal myself, and that's all I use. Yeah. It's the only magic I use is healing, and you never give items to your characters.
Well, they just waste them.
Yeah.
Just never use items, period, because you never know when you'll need them.
That's true. I don't think I used 2 high potions in like the middle of the game, and that's it. So
it's pretty easy.
Even in proud mode.
I didn't die once.
In proud mode, there's sometimes where you just get hit in a combo and you're just dead. So, but the game is like.
That's what I really like about Etri and Odyssey, because it forces you to use items in order. No, I'm not gonna go there.
You know what's great about Nexus?
So, speaking of Nexus, Granblue Fantasy Relink development moved to Cygames entirely. Platinum Games is no longer involved.
Yeah. So I heard, I had a buddy give me some info about what happened. So apparently, like, I think Cygames and Platinum had different ideas, like conflicting ideas what they wanted this game to be. And so development took longer. And the game should have been done by now, and so their contract expired. Instead of like extending it so they could finish the game, Cygames is like, we'll just take it internally and do it ourselves, finish it ourselves. So who knows when that game's coming out? But
you said this is for Granblue Fantasy, right?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it's like a PS4 action RPG.
Oh, I thought this was the mobile game. Okay.
No, they're stepping their game up. So have you seen the fighting game? Versus?
No, I have not. No.
Yeah, so the guys that made Dragon Ball FighterZ are making a Granblue Fantasy fighting game. Arc System Works. Yeah.
Interessante.
Yeah. So they're coming hard next gen, man. I'm telling you. So they have Versus, they have Relink, and then there's probably
like Project Reincarnation or whatever it's called.
What is that called? Oh, Project Awakening, I think.
It was just like it looked like a realistic Monster Hunter.
Yeah, there's like this guy in this like destroyed arena, and he's fighting a dragon or whatever. So, yeah.
I want a plush of that little dragon mascot guy.
I know, he's so cute. I just want the game to come out west. Like, I know it's available if you download it from a Japanese store. Like, it's localized, but like I can't go to the U.S. store and download it. So
that's very interesting.
Yeah, and they make good games. Like they made Dragalia Lost for Nintendo, and I'm like hopelessly addicted to that game. Yeah,
I'm level 132.
Wow.
Dragalia Lost right now, and I think the cap is 150, and we just know that based on some early game glitches. But I am in this. I'm not going to talk about how much I've spent on this game. It is within my financial means.
Yeah.
But it is definitely more than I've spent on Nintendo Badge Arcade, and I spent about $1,500 on Nintendo Badge Arcade.
I'm not sure what Nintendo Badge Arcade is.
It was a game on the 3DS where it was basically like the Japanese crane games, and it gave you like symbols from all these different Nintendo games and franchises and stuff like that. And when you collected them, you were able to decorate your 3DS with them, or you could send them as like stickers and notes to people. And at one point, the little bunny said, "Hey, maybe if this game does well, we might, look into mini games you can use them for, like an RPG." And I was like, an RPG that uses them like stickers, like from the Brawl Smash Brothers game? And that's kind of what sent me down the road of wanting to collect all of them, so that if this RPG side game ever came out, I would be stacked to the brim.
Oh,
and
boy.
And then nothing ever happened, and then it stopped.
Interesting.
You got me good, Nintendo.
Well, I haven't played Dragalia in a couple days. These guys pump out events like as soon as one's over, another one's coming. Like they're doing that. What is it? The Skyborn Spectacle, and they already have a Valentine's thing coming. Yeah, in a couple weeks, or like I don't know how soon, but
yeah. Usually it's an event, and then the event ends, and you get like 3 days in between. Until the next one happens. I've been on top of them so far. I've managed to finish all of these events. I'm stockpiling for whatever the next High Dragon is going to be, which my guess is it's going to be Jupiter. My bet is Jupiter, but everyone's saying it's going to be Mercury or Zodiac. I think it's going to be Jupiter. But I'm eager. I'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
So did you get the Panda Dragon at the last event? I did. Nice.
Okay, so part of why I'm in this is because now I will only pull on this game besides the daily single. I will only do a 10 pull just because it's more worth it.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna knock on wood somewhere here. But this game is absolute garbage to me when it comes to 5-star units. But it's really nice to me when it comes to 5-star dragon, except for one case, and I'll get to that. But for example, during the circus event, I was only interested in getting the 3 and the 4-star unit, and then I was just going to stockpile because I wasn't interested in trying to pull for the 5-star dragon. I already had good options. But I got the 5-star dragon on like pull 3, and then I got the 4-star unit on pull 4. So I was done in 4 pulls. And then on this event, again, same thing. It's not a limited banner, so I only care to get the 3 and the 4-star character, and then I'm good. But I got the panda on the same pull that I got the 3-star unit. So I was done with that in like 5 pulls. Like it was so nice to me. But on the other hand, that limited time banner, the one that had Ieyasu and that Dark Dragon, where it was like they are not going to show up in the roulette after this banner is over.
Yeah.
So I knew I wanted to get at least one copy of the character and the dragon, so I just had them on hand. The unit I got on the 7th pull. The dragon took me until the 39th.
Oh my god. So do you grind it out, or do you like get, what is it, the diamantium or whatever the heck the thing is?
What do you mean by do I grind it out?
Like get Wormite, like the end game currency that you can you get.
Oh yeah, like I am definitely, I'm not a minnow. I wouldn't say I'm a space whale who spends like $10,000 on this game, but I've spent a fair amount. So like I'll get the weekly the weekly bonus pack, whatever it is, like the diamantium that you can like get a free 50 every day or whatever it is. And I always get the monthly packs because the unbinds for like weapons, dragons, is really important. So that's my way of supporting the game is, I'm not going to get like the weekly resource packs because I can just run the missions for that.
Yeah.
But I will get the monthly packs every month, and I do get the weekly. I also get the stamina refill one, the one that's like $10 for because that is an absurdly good deal. Because the fact that it gives you like 100 stamina and 12 wings every day for 30 days for $10 is phenomenal. Like it's so good.
Yeah. I love how Nick is just totally lost. I could talk about Dragalia lost today, though, but Nick has no idea what's up.
I am the Dragalia boy. Like, I'm in it to win it. Like you can see right there, level 132.
Oh man,
So,
I got a ways to go. I'm only level 71. But you know what was really funny? So you just mentioned something interesting, and I didn't realize this. So you said that, like, so for example, the 5-star character in this event was the Fist
Axe Girl.
Ling Pai, whatever her name is. So
Yeah.
she will be in the rotation still after the event's over.
Correct. The only limited banner we've had so far. The only limited banner we've had so far, besides like the holiday ones, obviously, was the Ieyasu and the Marishitin banner, the Emissaries of the East, I think it was called.
Okay.
So I don't know if Valentine's is going to have any special events, but the only one that's had a limited time dragon was Emissaries of the East. So
interesting. Okay, well that makes me feel better because I was like, oh, I want the limited stuff, but they're only available in this like 10-day window, but I guess they're not anymore. So that's good to know.
That's precisely why I didn't care a lot about trying to pull for the 5-star dragon on the circus event or this one, is because they were still going to be in the rotation, just less likely to appear. So that's why I was wonderfully surprised when I got both of them anyway.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And now that I said that, now they're going to have like another limited banner, you know, for Valentine's Day or for March, and I'm going to not get anything. I'm going to be totally hosed.
All your luck is gone.
What I'm hoping happens is we don't get a new dragon for the Valentine's event, but I hope that Cupid has an increased appearance rate.
Is Cupid a character, or what is there a work print?
Cupid is a dragon in Dragalia Lost. He has his stats are 40% strength before max unbind, so 60% when you max unbind him. But his ability heals the entire party while also increasing their critical rate. So he's a very good option for DPS. And I almost bet you he's going to be a choice for people running DPS whenever High Zodiarch comes out. So I would not be opposed to him being an increased appearance rate on the next event.
Oh, I'm sure with it being Valentine's Day, that makes a lot of sense.
I'm banking on it for sure.
All right, shall we rescue Nick? Nick, do you want to return to the world of knowing what's happening?
It's fine.
Well, you know, okay,
it's fine.
So here's what happened. So like I told you, I post-Christmas, I was very broke, and so I'm like, let me go down the rabbit hole of free mobile gacha games. And so I had been playing Dragalia, but then I played Honkai Impact. Have you heard of that?
Okay. No, I have not.
It's like, imagine mobile Bayonetta. That's basically what it is. And it actually has good graphics, yeah.
If you can manage to do Bayonetta controls on a mobile game, more power to you, dude.
It does the whole thing, like if you dodge at the last second, it does the slowdown. It's like, it is Bayonetta. It's like, they don't even pretend.
Wow.
And then what is the other one? This other one just came out. It's like it's like an actual, like straight up JRPG, but just built for mobile. It's called Another Eden. And it's by the writer of Chrono Trigger and the composer of Chrono Trigger.
Another Eden. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of One Step from Eden. Okay, keep going.
But it's like, the map is very basic. Like you do touch controls, but to move the guy. But then it's the gacha is with your party members. Like they give you one to start the game with, and then you pick up characters, and then it's turn based. So you pick a move, and you just. It's very simplified, but it's like a really good story. Like I said, it's from the Chrono Trigger writer and the composer. So like I don't know, it's a cool game.
Yeah. Something to fit your budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one, this one I've probably played the least, but I'll get to it eventually. It's called Epic 7. And it's similar. It's like you just go on you kind of explore around, do turn-based battles, collect characters. So but Dragalia is the one that's got me the hardest. You know, that Cygames Nintendo magic, man, I tell you.
I do not want to give up my I am hoping Dragalia holds my attention for a long. I mean, at this point it has a lot of my money, so of course it's going to have a lot of my attention. But I really enjoy Dragalia. I enjoy supporting it financially, and maybe if it does well, they'll do more dubbing of it, and maybe it'll come to the States instead of Canada, and maybe it can be a voice in it. I don't know.
I know. You should push it. We'll do it. Hashtag
like,
Chiplock for Dragalia.
Because it's an all Canadian cast, except for example, my colleague Lizzie Freeman. She voices Lily from Shadowverse for Cygames, and Lily was also brought into Dragalia. So they had Lizzie record for her character again. So she's like the only American actress in this Canadian cast game. But that means the potential is there.
Okay,
it is there.
Interesting. Okay, let me ask you. I have one last question, and then we'll move on from Dragalia. I swear.
Okay.
So, is the main like priest tonight? Do you pronounce it Elisane or Elisan? I don't know how to pronounce it.
I say Elisan. I think I do Elisan because when the Halloween event came around, everyone started calling her alt Helisan.
Ah, okay. Because they don't say it ever in the story, so I wasn't sure. I'm like, it's recorded in Japanese because it's basically fully dubbed in Japanese. So maybe if there's a chance where they say Elisan, maybe you'll get to hear how they say it. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I hate to do this, but while you move on to the other topic, I actually have to use the bathroom really bad. So I'm only going to be like 4 or 5 minutes, but it'll spare you from me talking about Dragalia or Etrian Odyssey, but I really have to go. So I will be right back.
All right.
Awesome. All right. Oh man, Nick, join the cult of Dragalia. You'll love it.
Not gonna happen.
Fun.
It's not gonna happen.
It's fun.
I don't play games on my phone.
Except for Tales. When Christoria comes out or whatever that new one is,
I'll get Christoria.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming to West, so it's possible. But yeah, I have no games on my phone ever.
Missing out, man. Try another Eden. I'm serious. Try it. It plays like a turn-based JRPG. It's just built for your phone. It reminds you a lot of like Lunar, kind of, like very simple. The PSP port. It kind of reminds you of that in a lot of ways. So.
It's very simple.
Other news? Any other news that you got?
Well, it's Ys 9. Adol has an unexpected appearance, and other tidbits from Denkai PlayStation.
Okay.
So let me just open that up and read it a little bit. Adol is depicted differently than he was in the series thus far. He has an unexpected atmosphere about him, including his appearance. So that either means emo Adol or old man Adol.
It'll probably be emo because everything about this game so far has been very
dark.
Yeah.
Belladue is a prison city full of mysteries. It will portray a drama that could only a prison can depict. Wow, that's really bad English. Only a prison can depict. The sense of scale the city offers is the greatest in the series thus far. So maybe the whole area, the whole game is in a city. Maybe
that could be.
Assume the city is not just a base, but also an action stage built with varied elevations and gimmicks.
Okay. I'm wondering what kind of gimmicks an Ys game could possibly have.
The staff-wielding monstrum has an air of darkness about him. He partly resembles Darkfact from Ys 1. The monstrum wearing a skirt and hat takes the most unexpected actions among the group. Pay attention to her leg area.
Okay.
I wonder what that means.
Pay attention to her leg area.
Okay. And she might have like an item there or something like that. It just talks about the monstrums. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just Adol looks different. Maybe.
Cool. Yeah, it seems to have a darker tone to it. So, I mean, as long as they keep the good combat from 8, it's all matters.
I wonder what they're going to change. Because they always change it up.
A little bit. They've been sticking with that 3-party system for a while. So I imagine they will probably stick with that.
But what's the 3-party system going to be like? Because there's always what's it called? In Celceta, you have the 3-party system, but you move to where you know when you change party members in 8, it just transfers you turn into them.
Yeah, okay.
In Celceta, it goes where they are at. So.
I think what they do in 8, from a gameplay perspective, is better because you're not having to readjust. You can just, even if it doesn't make sense, you're teleporting basically. Fine. Who cares?
What was 7's like? Was it the same thing as 8?
No, I want to say it was probably like Celceta. I just don't think they branched out
as far as
that far. Yeah, they kind of stuck in a little cluster.
I never used Adol in Celceta.
Really?
It was always the orange-haired girl, because she has the long-range knives, and I liked that.
Yeah, I need to beat that game. If we get the PS4 remaster, I'm gonna play that and finish it.
Why not PC?
Yeah, there's something weird with the way your dad set my PC up. So I whenever I get games, like I have a really strong computer, but it doesn't run it like as well as I feel like it should. So, I don't know.
Or you expect it too much. You expect too much of your PC, and you're trying to run everything on Ultra.
Not sure.
Maybe.
Ugh.
Maybe.
So remember what I said about it being a beautiful day?
It's raining now.
Now it's raining.
Oops.
Oops.
And now it's raining.
Okay, Taylor, it's enough.
Did you just say now it's raining?
Yes.
I did.
You know what? On second thought, I have to go use the bathroom for another 45 minutes. I'll be back. This podcast is still going on.
Well, it's raining now, so that means playing Etrian Odyssey Nexus. It's gonna be nice and relaxing.
No, I'm playing Dragalia Nexus now, and now it's just combined.
Okay,
Oh my
Dragalia
god.
Nexus.
It's a dungeon crawler from Cygames. Oh shit.
Oh man, that could be fun.
All right, so we've been gone for like 2 weeks or 3. I don't know how long it's been, and we've played a lot of games in between. Then we've beat a bunch of games. Do you want to talk about Resident Evil 2, Taylor?
Yeah, tell me about tell me about Mr. X. X gonna give it to you.
Next. You know, everybody's been doing the X gonna give it to you. I've been pulling from Arrested Development. Have you seen Arrested Development?
Yeah.
Sean?
Yeah, off and on.
There's a guy called Mr. S, but I've been saying Mr. X.
Mr. F.
Oh, Mr. F. That's what it is, Mr. F. Mr. X. Anyway, it is like probably the best video game remake of all time. Like,
really?
Yeah, it's really good. I think the reason they're able to do that is because the environments are so claustrophobic that they could like jack up the resolution and graphical fidelity to like whatever they want. It's not like a big open world game, you know?
It did give me kind of a Dead Space feel for sure.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so the original came out in 98, I think.
Mm-hmm. Damn,
but yeah,
20 years later.
Yeah, I know, unbelievable. But yeah, I was really surprised at how much Mr. X, speaking of which, was included in the game. He is like most of the police station. He just will not stop following you.
I mean, like one of my favorite horror stories is when I think it started on Reddit, but like the idea of like there just being this very, very slow moving monster that if he touches you, you die instantly, but he always moves exceptionally slow. However, he never stops moving towards you. Do you remember any story like that?
There was a movie about that.
Yeah, they made a movie about that. Yeah,
It Follows or something.
Yeah.
That was a good movie. I liked that.
So like if you were to like fly from like North America all the way over to you know the UK, it may take the monster like 6 years to catch up to your location. But the fact is, if you just forgot and lived there for 6 years, he'd eventually reach you and touch you and you die. So Mr. X, based on the videos I've seen, kind of gives me that feeling based on what you said, where like he's just always walking towards you, and even when you're like 50 rooms away, you know that any time you spend is time he's catching up to you.
And you just hear the footsteps. Thump, 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 thump. And you're just like, okay, Where is he? Oh, he's on the roof.
Yo, that would be terrifying. That's really exciting.
Yeah, they did really good sound design in that game. Like I played the whole thing with headphones, so it's like it has like good spatial, you know, like audio. So it's like, okay, I think he's to the left. So you can it's pretty reliable. So
cool, very cool.
Yeah, and then they actually made zombies scary again instead of just like mindless whatever. You have to like I don't know about what you did, Nick, but what I would do is like take their legs out, because if you shoot their legs long enough, it'll like blow their leg off, and then I just stabbed them instead of wasting ammo.
No, I went for the head every time.
So it's kind of like Dead Space, where they're all potentially lethal.
Yeah. Like zombies are actually like a threat again. They're not just like.
I think that's
good.
I think that's one of the complaints people have been having, is that the game is too hard, because normal zombies are either like they die in one hit, you get a critical hit and you blow their head off, or they take like 8 shots, and that's a lot of shots in Resident Evil.
Yeah, no, I imagine. Are there different difficulties for the game? I imagine there are.
There's easy, normal, and hardcore. I started on hardcore, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna do this.
Now, how effectively are they different? Does it just change like enemy HP? Does it change how often ammo drops, or like what does it actually change?
I think in hardcore it changes rarity of ammo. Enemies do more damage, and you need ink ribbons to save.
Okay.
So it's like old school Resident Evil.
Doesn't hardcore, I assume based on what I've heard from other games, does hardcore only give you like a limited number of ink ribbons?
Yeah.
You can only save a certain number of times?
Yeah, you got to find them, and then you got to take them out. You have to actually own them to save. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's like they that's how it originally was, but then Alien Isolation did something like that too. There were these little key card stations, and that was the only way you could save. It was brutal. So
keys right there. We have to go get the laundry, but she's gonna go grab it, so she needed the keys.
Got it. But yeah, the atmosphere was like freaking perfect. Like I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how they could have done it any better. Like they took all the best aspects from all the different games, like Resident Evil 4 over the shoulder camera, and then they had like the kind of gunpowder combining mechanic from 7. But then they still did the A/B story. So like you play Leon's story, and then it unlocks a different version for Claire, and it's slightly different. It's not quite the same.
Gotcha.
Which kind of fleshes the story out a little bit.
Yeah, it's like in Leon's B, it freaking Mr. X is right at the beginning of the game, and you're like, oh, good, that's awesome.
Good. No, that's good. You need to be scared right off the get-go. I appreciate that.
The only thing that bummed me out, and in Claire's game, you get to do this more, but like you don't really go to the city much, because you start the game off, and like in the old game, you get separated. Like you get out of a car, and then a semi crashes into your car, and you're on separate sides of this car, and you have to get to the police station in different ways. In the remake, you like go down some stairs, and you're like right at the police station. I'm like, oh, okay, no gunshot.
Yeah, but
no gun shop, no exploring.
But the cool thing is they added those scenes in like the middle of the game. The gun shop is in Leon, and then the fire escape that you go down in Leon's is also there. And if you look at the zombie that's at the bottom, is the same exact zombie in the one that in Resident in the original.
With the tank top and the short shorts. I was like, oh my.
I was like, they actually did it.
And then they added a new area with Claire. There's the orphanage, which I don't remember being a part of the first game. I think they like added that completely. I don't remember that at all.
I think it was it was talked about, but it wasn't there. Like I remember what's it called? Let's just call her the Corpse Bride. The dead girl. That's
Chief Iron's daughter or whatever.
Yeah.
Or isn't that Coraline? No, that's not Coraline. That's Corpse Bride.
Yeah.
Right.
It was the mayor's daughter that disappeared, and the Chief Irons hunted her pretty much and taxidermied.
Yeah, the chief is a sick fuck for sure.
Yeah. And that was in the chief's office before, and now it's in the orphanage. So I think they added the orphanage to flesh out his story and Sherry's story.
Here's the one thing that they took out, and I was bummed that they took out. No giant spiders in the sewers. I was waiting for those giant spiders. Never showed up.
Yep, and they were replaced by one of the most annoying monsters ever.
Yep.
What?
It's like a mutated blob of meat. Like, I don't know if you know what you call it.
It's a mutated G virus, or G, they call it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, did they at least... Okay. I was gonna say, if they removed the spiders, did they still like juke you? Like, did they do a music build up to make you expect them and then not do anything? Or
they hid in the water that you're in and then suddenly jumped out and then like they were the most annoying things. They
take so much ammo to take down.
Use flames.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Well, it's harder with Claire because she doesn't have the flamethrower.
She has grenade rounds though.
Yeah, but go ahead. That wasn't as effective.
That was the other thing they changed. So in the original game, so each character has 2 sets of like additional weapons. So Leon has the Magnum and the shotgun, and then in the original, Claire had the grenade launcher and the bow gun. And they took the bow gun out, which I guess makes sense because it's kind of a stupid weapon, like a crossbow. But I was kind of hoping they would have had it, but they gave her a 6-shooter or something, or like it was a submachine gun, right? Or a Uzi or whatever. Uzi. Yeah. That was actually kind of...
I just missed the... Sorry about that, babe. I wish I wish it was in there.
Oh my god! Have you played the original Resident Evil 2, Sean?
My first Resident Evil was Resident Evil 4, so at least I started with a good game. But yeah, that was my main experience with the Resident Evil series. I also did that rail shooter that was on the Wii, like Umbrella Chronicles or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Dark Side Chronicles.
Yeah, 4 was my game for Resident Evil.
It's a good one. I feel like we're slowly etching towards a 4 remake because like you still can't move and shoot in that game, which is like really hard now. In all the modern Resident Evil games, you can move and shoot. But everybody's like, oh, they're gonna remake 3 and then they'll do 4. So like, give it like 15 years.
I think they might because they kind of changed the story in 2 a little bit.
Yeah,
they changed the canon a bit. So if they do the same thing in 3. Then 4's canon might change because they kind of messed it up in freaking 6. 6 was all over the place.
Oh my god, 6 is a disaster.
I would have enjoyed... Okay, I tried playing 6. I would have enjoyed 6 because it had skill trees. But who would have thought? Sean would be a fan of stuff where you upgrade your skills. But I tried to play it on my PC, and I could not get past the very first QuickTime event because it ran, even on low settings, it ran so terribly it wouldn't register my inputs often enough for me to survive the QTE. I could not make it past. So,
yeah, that game was interesting.
I never played.
You never played 6? Oh man,
because you told me to stay away pretty much.
Yeah. It was such a... I think what they tried to do too much. So there were 4 campaigns in that game. So there was Leon and his partner, there was Chris and his partner, and then there was Wesker's son and Sherry, who's the little girl from 2. And each campaign played very differently. So like Jake and Sherry's campaign was like 3. There's a big nemesis guy chasing you the whole game.
Right.
Leon's campaign, you're like mostly in a college, and it's zombie, dark, spooky hallways kind of place. Okay. And then Chris's was like military shooter. There was like there were guns. I'm like, guys, what are we doing?
Zombie
here?
With guns.
Although that's not as bad. I mean, you didn't get far enough, but at some point, I believe Leon does a move where he literally German suplexes zombies.
Yeah.
No.
There are entire tactics on speedruns that revolve around using that to give yourself invincibility frames and knock down certain enemies. Like, yeah, I love that.
They went a little too over the top because I remember the initial trailer. I'm like, oh my god, like everybody's here, and it's like back to the dark, creepy hallways and stuff. And then you play, and you're like, oh, what is happening? And we're doing like hurricanranas and swanton bombs, and
I remember one move that like Leon was like flipping around the zombie, and then like I was like, what is this?
He remembered the basics of CQC.
Yeah, exactly. CQC with a zombie that would infect you, bites you. They bite you. Makes sense.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll do 8 or if they just might like totally reboot it. Because like you're right, like the virus has gone everywhere at this point. Like what? It reminds me of the movies almost, where like everybody's dead. So I don't know like what. By everybody, I don't mean the main characters. I mean like the populace at large.
Right.
So I don't know where they go next with Resident Evil, or if they just keep remaking them because that seemed to have worked pretty well.
And Ada's completely like it's different in this one too.
Yeah, I liked her though. She was cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Like people were like raising concerns about like Ada Wong's like clothing choice when it comes to the games, but they forget Ada is so confident in herself and her abilities. She wears whatever the hell she wants because she knows she's gonna kick your ass anyway. They're like, oh, Ada should be in military gear. You know, that's how you handle zombies. Unless you're a spy who is so good at their job that they can slash and dash and shoot people in the head without needing to be in all that gear because you're just that good.
Yeah.
It's like Bayonetta. Bayonetta doesn't need that stuff. She just kicks your butt anyway.
That's it.
So you
That's
get
all part of her plan. She's like trying to be seductive and wear a sexy dress and to trick people.
well, you do if you pick the the classic costumes.
Yeah.
She's always in that dress. She's never in the trench coat.
Oh, that's interesting.
So,
huh.
Yeah. So the other game that we played is Kingdom Hearts 3. And I don't really want to spoil anything or anything like that. I just want to say
I've seen videos. You can't scare me.
it's thumbs up, Taylor. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of the side game stuff that I didn't look into or I've never played. And I was like, those guys that have like the animal helmets, I'm like, I don't know who they are. But just as a game and as a fan of Disney stuff, it's just a delight. You know, I've never seen Tangled, so like that was the first world I went to, besides Hercules, and so I'm like, oh, this is cool. It was like, I don't know. I know people give Kingdom Hearts grief because like, oh, you're just playing the movie, but I'm like, well, I never saw the movie, so it was kind of fun. That was my favorite world. I liked Tangled a lot.
You know, that's Kingdom Hearts is a movie. It's a movie that you play. That's it.
Pretty much.
Sometimes it gives you control so that it feels like you justified spending $60 on a movie, but make no mistake, it is a movie with interactive elements.
Well,
there were a lot of cutscenes in that game. Oh my gosh! There's so many cutscenes.
Well, they kind of had to with the story. They had to conclude this one main storyline, which they did. But it's compared to all the other games, the Disney worlds were like perfect. Like they recreated it perfectly. Like some of the scenes are like straight up from the movies. I don't want to spoil what's there, but
I'll spoil one.
No, don't say it. I want to surprise the Sean.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how long it's going to be until I get around to this game. So by all means, let me know. It may help me look forward to it.
They straight up. Yeah, I know what you're going to talk about. They straight up recreated the Let It Go scene from Frozen.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
It's like exactly the same. With Sora and Donald and Goofy in the background.
Like I said, you're paying $60 for a movie with some gaming elements.
I was like, what is this? What is this?
They were like even pretending.
It's like Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is not a Sonic game. It's a Chow Garden game with Sonic cutscenes.
Oh, that was funny. But it was
I couldn't believe it. I was like, are they really just going to like straight up do that scene from... Okay. I guess they're just going to sing the whole song. All right, here we go.
I bet you Disney was like, you have to do this. The Pirates. Did you enjoy the Pirates world?
I have to say, of all the worlds, I liked the pirate world. It was like the oddest though, because everything is so cartoony, and like that one like is real life actors, and it just doesn't look right. It just doesn't look as good, you know, because everybody's like an anime character or from an animated film. And obviously none of the actors, like Johnny Depp and Orlando Bloom, aren't doing their voices, so it sounds kind of off.
But at least Orlando Bloom or Will actually sounds similar to Will, unlike in the number two. Number two, he didn't sound like anything like him.
Number two sounded like number two.
Yeah, number two sounded like number two.
Basically, pretty much. Yeah, yeah, it was cool though. I liked
because
what blew me away is how many mechanics and special things they made for each world. Like they have a whole like pirate ship mechanic that's only in that world. I'm like, that's like a whole game in like Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Like that's what that game is. So it's amazing that they have all these mechanics that are only for one part of the game. That's probably why the game took so long to finish.
Yeah, probably. And Toy Story World, you get into giant mech. I'm like, yes. Well, giant toy mech.
Yeah.
It's like mechs add 100%. Add extra 10 points to the 10-point scale. So if it's like an 8 out of 10, it's automatically 18 out of 10. So add mechs.
And then I love, okay, like, man, I don't want to spoil it, but like Square went off the deep end at certain points. Like they just straight up have Final Fantasy toys in the Toy Story, because the whole Toy Story world, for the most part, you're in a big toy store.
Right.
And there's an action figure level, and they just like, yeah, here's the Final Fantasy toys. And I'm like, okay. And then this is really like breaking the fourth wall.
Are they Final Fantasy toys that actually exist, or are they toys we wish existed, but no, they're just teasing us by putting them in this game?
That's a good question. I don't know. They're like Bahamut and like a behemoth. I don't know.
Okay, speaking of Bahamut.
Yeah.
Okay, like my mind blew because they got the voice actor for Rex from Toy Story, and Rex was like, "Oh, you got to teach me how to defeat Bahamut," and I'm like, it's like Rex saying Bahamut, weirdest thing.
Yeah. It was pretty awesome.
It's even funnier when you like hear it in his voice, like, "You have to teach me how to defeat Bahamut."
Yeah, that's why I'm like, that's Rex saying Bahamut. That's so weird.
And then they made up a Square Enix game for the lengths they went to flesh out this game is like incredible. They made up this game called Verum Rex. It's not a real game.
Okay.
So you go to the Toy Story world, and then you go to the action figure world, and then the game just cuts to black. I'm like, what's happening? And there's this like amazing high fidelity cutscene that starts playing. I'm like,
it's a trailer for a game.
Yeah, I'm like, what am I watching? Is this like Advent Children 2 or something? And it looks like Final Fantasy 15. Like the character, it straight up just looks like 15. And then I'm like, Verum Rex, what the hell? And then it like pans out, and it's like the character's watching a trailer. And I'm like, what? Like that 15-second thing probably cost them like half the game's budget.
That's just Disney. That's just Disney and Square flexing their cash, going, "That's right, that's right. We can do that. Do you want it in your game? You can't, unless you use us. But if you use us, then we have total control."
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Lots of mind blows in this game.
Especially that secret ending. I know I'm not going to talk about that, but that secret ending.
I think every ending in that was just like.
Pretty much.
Just to tell you, that Kingdom Hearts is not over.
Oh, of course not.
Kingdom Hearts is not over. There's like 5 different ways they could go with different games.
5 games over 2.
Yeah, 5 games over 2.
No! No!
And the last thing I've been playing, I restarted Rune Factory 3.
Oh, the wife has been watching Let's Plays of Rune Factory. That is the farming sim / RPG.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rune Factory 3.
I'm so sad that that developer doesn't exist anymore, because we've all been wanting a Rune Factory.
Rune Factory 5. So Rune Factory 2 is very archaic. Rune Factory 1 is probably super archaic. 3 is when it hit its stride. It's so good. I love that game.
You said, yeah. I think she was watching 4? Yeah, she was watching 4, so I don't know about 3.
4 is really good, too. 4 is just adding on to 3, pretty much. And you can play as both a boy and a girl, and there's 3 arcs, and one of them's secret, and it starts randomly.
Okay. Like, there's no guaranteed way to make it happen? You just have to hope?
When I was playing it, no. I don't know if there is now, but I want to replay it now and get that secret arc, so I want to finish it. I got married, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. That's the end of the game.
Are you into those farming life sim stuff like Stardew Valley at all, Sean, or Harvest Moon or anything like that?
The wife's really big on farming sim. She's been really big on Stardew Valley. The only farming sim I played was when I was younger. I played a lot of Harvest Moon 64. And I guess I did pretty well, despite I married Ellie, the baker. That's right. True wife.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the only one I ever played, but I enjoyed it. I reset every time my dog or horse didn't win the race, because I'm that kind of person.
Yeah, save scum, baby.
Save scum.
Yeah.
Save scum.
Man,
that's the best one. It all is. There's one called Friends of Mineral Town, and then there's one called Back to Nature, but it's all the same characters from the 64 one, I think.
Yeah, it's the same game. It's all the same game.
But it's funny that she's a baker in that one, because in the PS1 version, she's a nurse, I think.
Mm. Yeah, I like at least once or twice a year, I will get to listen to my wife play A Wonderful Life. And I say listen, not watch, because I'll be sitting in the bedroom or doing my own thing, and in the background here, do, 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 do. Just the spring and summertime music over and over and over and over again. But she plays A Wonderful Life, not Another Wonderful Life, because Another Wonderful Life was kind of like the patched and fixed version of A Wonderful Life. So the frame rate on A Wonderful Life is so bad.
Oh my god, yes! I have the GameCube version, or I had it, and it's like terrible. Yeah. So did they fix it in the re-release?
Yes, in Another Wonderful Life, it's basically it was basically to that series what Pokemon Blue was to Red and Green in Japan, where Blue was kind of like the fixed, improved version.
Another Wonderful Life. I've never heard of that.
Yep.
I've seen it when I worked at GameStop.
Oh, and it's a girl character. Interesting. Or
Yep.
can you pick, or is it just?
I think it's a girl for sure.
Okay.
It's like more Friends of Mineral Town for Game Boy Advance, which is you're a girl.
Got it. Magical Melody. There's so many Harvest Moon games. Jeez.
There are a lot. Have you been playing other than those mobile games you guys been playing? Anything else?
Nope, that's my life. I'm a person who has one or two interests at any given time, but all of my free time gets dedicated to those interests. So right now it's Etrian Odyssey and Dragalia Lost, and even my Smash is being affected by that a bit. Like, I'm still pushing myself to go to tournaments, but I'm able to go to tournaments because I can play Etrian Odyssey in between my matches.
Yeah, there you go.
But, like, I'm not doing Wi-Fi right now. I'm not doing a lot of other stuff that involves actively playing a game because I've got Etrian Odyssey. So those are my two right now.
See, that's what happened to me. We used to play Smash like every night, but when Resident Evil 2 came out, stopped, and then Kingdom Hearts 3 came out after that, and I stopped, and then now Apex Legends came out, and I've just been playing that and Rune Factory 3. So
let me see, and then I have to probably finish Etrian. Yeah, I have to finish Etrian Odyssey by March because Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon Everybody comes out March 20th. And it literally comes out the day before I fly out for Shudokan. So it is perfect timing for me to be able to play that game and enjoy myself at the convention. So I have I have 1 month. Shit! I have 1 month to beat Etrian Nexus. Oh my god. It's doable. It's doable, but my god.
you could do it.
I believe in you, Sean. You can do
You
it.
could do it.
I have faith.
See, this is why I'm doing those daily Etrian Nexus experiences on Twitter, because in order to have a reason to post, I need to have made some progress. So a month full of daily progress, I think I'll be able to do it. That's the challenge. Here and now on this podcast, I am making the challenge to myself to finish Etrian Nexus 100%, true final boss beaten on heroic difficulty by no later than March 20th, so that I can enjoy Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon.
All right.
Dang.
So we're gonna say March. We're gonna tweet you at March 20th to say, did you beat it yet?
And if I don't do it, I'll raise the stakes. If I don't accomplish that, I have to give out 3 copies of the game.
There you go.
Oh snap! All right,
To Taylor.
just give me 3 copies. Yeah. Cool.
All right. So where you are? Okay. So we got questions. We got a lot of questions, but I'm going to do the most. Oh my gosh, the most recent.
The
one.
most.
So does my therapist, but I'll be honest, I can't guarantee all of them will have hand.
All right. I'm going to do the Sean ones first.
All right.
All right. For Maximilian Wonder, have you played Tokyo Xanadu? You would probably really enjoy its dungeon crawling. If you have, what are your thoughts on the cast? Fun and unique, or is it just Persona 4's cast with a Cheeto?
What?
Oh, you guys don't know the background story behind that.
No.
Okay, so one day my wife, I hate myself for this. One day my wife and I are out at one of the shopping plazas, and I catch sight of this. It was such a strikingly contrasting, beautiful bird. It was this all black bird that had a very orange beak, and it was just those 2 colors. And it seems so strange that like this all black bird would have such a vivid beak. So I get my wife's attention. I'm like, AJ, look at that bird. Isn't that cool? It has such this vivid orange beak. And she looks over and she looks really close. And then she looks straight at me and goes, Sean, that's a crow with a Cheeto in its mouth. So now that's our go-to to when something that we think is visually beautiful is actually just something terrible that's been dressed up with a Cheeto. So like, that's not My Hero Academia. That's Sword Art Online with a Cheeto. That's not. That's so that's the go-to for like games that aren't as good as you think they are. They're just really dressed up, or they're worse versions of themselves. So to answer that, I have not played Tokyo Xanadu yet, but I wasn't aware that it had a dungeon crawling element, so I'll have to try and make time for it. But as you just heard, I've got Etrian Odyssey right now. I'm gonna have Chocobo Mystery Dungeon in March, and so I'm gonna be upfront with you. It's not gonna be in the near future that I'm gonna have time for it, but I will keep it in mind.
It is quite fun. We always give it recommendations on this podcast.
Right. Hopefully it won't be Moco Moco Friends with a Cheeto, because Moco Moco Friends was a god awful game. It was terrible. I hated it.
The dungeon crawling aspect is action, so it's kind of like ease, but it's dungeons. You go into dungeons.
Okay.
From Asian Sensation 24, what is your favorite anime? Okay to say multiple if you can't decide.
Oh, favorite anime. All right. See, it seems like a cop-out, but, like, I have different favorite anime for different reasons. Like, Daily Lives of High School Boys was the best comedic anime I had seen in terms of comedic timing, but then I saw Cromartie High School. So they're both super solid for different reasons. Cromartie being a funnier comedic anime using older males, and Daily Lives of High School Boys being a funnier anime using younger males or younger guys. Anohana, I hate Anohana. I hate Anohana, and because I love it so much, because Anohana, when I QA tested the DVD release of Anohana, and it was the first anime to literally have me crying every single episode. I went on lunch break while my wife was visiting me, and she comes to meet me at the parking lot so we could go to the food plaza together, and I'm sobbing my eyes out. She thought I got fired or something like that. But no, it was because of just people talking in Anohana. So that's a favorite.
Sounds like me with Scum's Wish.
I really like both versions of Full Metal Alchemist. I think Brotherhood and the original series have their own unique charm, because the fact that they took the story where they did without having the manga to follow at a certain point, I give that a lot of respect. Inferno Cop, just because it's so stupid random in such a great way. The performances in that are amazing. And I know it seems cliche, but My Hero really is a solid show. Like, you come to care about all of the characters except Mineta in their own unique ways. and 3 seasons in, they're still super solid. You still want to see how they work together. It is a true team accomplishment anime, and it does it really well. Even though you know exactly what's going to happen, you still have a blast seeing it happen, and that's a hallmark of a great anime.
Is Cromartie High School the one where that dude eats a bunch of pencils?
Yeah, it's also, there's that one song that I really like from that anime. It's like, you know the one I'm talking about?
No.
I swear to God, just listen. It goes, you don't know that?
No. Yeah.
I swear to God, like, I can't remember what it's called, but I don't know.
I just saw this meme. Like, I follow a bunch of accounts on Twitter, and I saw this video where there's this guy sitting at his desk, and somebody eats a pencil, and then he brings out a bunch of other pencils, and then this guy eats all those pencils, and I was like, what the hell is this? And then I googled Cromartie High School, and it looks like the same art style.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Okay. So out of context, I'm like, all right, that's a show.
Oh, wait, you mean, like, is this like an Undertale for Smash, or like what
Whatever you want.
Oh no, they're saying what are my hopes and dreams for the next Nintendo Direct. I thought they were saying like hopes and dreams, like the song from Undertale.
Oh.
Rean Schwarzer for Smash?
That would be awesome.
Okay. Here's my only argument for that. Unless I'm misremembering, Nintendo said for all of the DLC characters, we want to bring in franchises or characters that have previously not had a presence on Nintendo consoles. And That makes sense because the first DLC is Joker from Persona, and none of the mainline Persona games have ever had a presence on Nintendo. Persona 5 was not on the Switch. So people are like, oh, Adol Christensen, from the East series, he's going to be on Smash. No, he's not, because Memories of Celceta or Lacrimosa of Donna was on Nintendo Switch. But Trails of Cold Steel has not been on a Nintendo console. So there's a chance.
Estelle.
Honestly, I feel like Estelle would be more likely than Rean Schwarzer, but there's a chance. For Nintendo Direct, I'm not really a person who expects anything. What I would love is for there to be a Mega Man Battle Network collection, but I know that's not very likely because that's mostly in Capcom's hands. I just hope the next Animal Crossing is something that people really enjoy. I don't really have any hard set expectations. I already have enough to keep me busy. I don't want to ask for more when I've already got enough,
The only thing I want more of is the next Fire Emblem. I want more Three Houses gameplay. Like, they barely showed anything at E3, and it was very different from the last handful of games.
How so?
So, Fire Emblem Awakening and Fates were like grid-based, single-character strategy, turn-based strategy RPGs, and so like you pick your guy, you move them, and you attack. And this one, it was like more like squads. Like you had a squad leader, and then you had like a few troops that would follow him, and it was like on a very big map. It wasn't like intricate level design. It was just kind of a big open field.
Okay.
And then there was also a big like base exploring mechanic. It looked like you could run around your base and talk to people, and you can do that a little bit in Fates and Awakening, but this one seemed much more elaborate.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll be curious to see if they've completely changed the gameplay, or that was just one level, or yeah, I don't know. So okay. I just want to know more about it.
I might have been muted this entire time.
Oh boy.
Not the entire podcast, just recently.
Okay, good. Screw it. Gotta trash it. Yeah, Fire Emblem. I'm trying to think if there is something that's been rumored or... Oh, Persona 5 R, whatever that is. I mean, they've been teasing that, so I'm wondering if that's going to be Persona 5 Ruby. They're going to port it to Switch with new features and stuff. So
I don't think so. I keep saying no.
It's going to happen. Me and Nick have this long-running bet that Persona 5 is going to come to Switch, and specifically that it's called Persona 5 Ruby. So the fact that they are teasing it that it's called Persona 5 R it's not looking good for Nick.
Persona 5 really gonna milk this for all it's worth.
Exactly. That would be much more appropriate.
The money keeps on coming. It's lining our pockets for years to come.
Well, that means more work for you, though, because there's going to be more scenes.
Wrong, because have you noticed, like, Persona 5 Dancing Star Night, Mishima doesn't show up. Mishima is the perfect triangle of important enough to be... I'm trying to think of what it was. Okay. He's not important enough to be a main character. He's a guy, so you can't date him, so you don't even get the love interest side scenes. He's not important enough. He's not. And I'm not bitter about that fact. It's just like... it's not going to happen. It's not. I was like, enjoy your expanded game, guys. It's okay. But not to worry, because there are plenty of other things for people to be excited about if they want to hear performances from me. There's one I can't talk about yet, but I play two very wildly different voice types within the same project, and I feel like I nailed both of them. So when I'm allowed to talk about that, I'm going to be very... I know it's super vague. That's all I can say without getting myself in trouble. But even if Mishima doesn't show up in Persona or for more lines of Persona 5R, don't worry. There's cool stuff in that same vein that I'll get to talk about in due time.
Freedom Planet 3. Confirmed.
I'm just trying to think of a comeback. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure.
It's Rivali's Wild Adventure. Finally.
Rivali goes to the supermarket.
Could you ring me up any slower, you asshole? Jeez, look at this guy.
Honestly, any Rivali side quest would just be It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode featuring Rivali.
Rivali goes to the grocery store, yep.
Rivali attempts to wield the Master Sword. Yup.
Okay, another one from Maximilian Wonder. From a slightly random friend of mine, why are there half sizes for shoes? Couldn't the number of sizes simply have been doubled?
Because I'm 28 and a half. Like, that's important. Why don't they just double the number of ages that humans can have, you know?
Is this a random thought? What?
I'm a random thought. Monday through Thursday, 0% chance. Friday through Sunday, at least a 35% chance that I'm going to be at a gas station bathroom, you know?
What?
I'm a random thought.
Random
THT.
Oh, man.
Thought.
There's some
Taylor, come on,
I,
thought.
I get it. I know.
Okay.
But I was like, wait a minute. What does the gas station have to do with that? Okay.
From Laser Glow, what type of absurd crossover would you want to see in a video game?
I don't know.
That's a good question. It deserves a good answer. I'm still thinking. Absurd crossover.
Final Fantasy and Disney.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
You might be onto something there.
Pokemon and Digimon.
Ooh.
Would it? What kind of game would it be?
Imagine because Pokemon are stored as data in PCs, but they're not really capable of doing anything inside of those PCs. So imagine if there was a crossover world where stuff was happening both in the real world and in the digital world. Like in the Battle Network series, there was stuff that the net navies were doing in cyberspace that was affecting stuff in the real world. So what if there was a game where you had to utilize Pokemon in the overworld, but then you had to go into cyberspace to fix problems using Digimon?
And Mega Man. At the same time. So Mega Man Battle Network, Digimon, and Pokemon crossover.
The more I talk about it, the more sense it makes, and now the more I want it.
The ultimate crossover.
That's Smash Brothers.
No, this is more ultimate than that. Okay.
Has a Digimon game ever been on a Nintendo console?
Probably. There's probably I feel like GameCube was that like bastion of third-party games. There had to have been a Digimon game on GameCube or Wii.
I'm gonna tweet that right now. Has a Digimon game ever been on a Nintendo console? Is there a chance we'll get how do you spell Wargreymon? Wargreymon in Smash? Maybe? That's right. Live tweets. Send
Perfect.
tweet. Don't at me.
Oh, I'm adding you right now.
Don't at me.
I'm gonna at you.
Man, what other when it comes to these freaking questions, I never have an answer.
Oh, really?
What about you, Taylor?
What about me? Let's see. The ultimate crossover. I don't know.
What if Kojima made a Silent Hill game?
Oh my god. And it was disguised as a demo that you could play for free.
I played that recently, and it made me sad because I was like, man, this is such a good thing.
I know, it was so good. Makes me sad. But apparently, Death Stranding is like some really crazy fever dream because apparently people have been playing it.
I saw the article where like someone was like, "How do you come up? Why does a masterpiece like this exist, or how does it exist?"
That's crazy. I'm excited to just see. I'm just so curious. I don't know what it could possibly be, but
a Resident Evil Silent Hill crossover.
Oh, snap. Resident Evil in Dead Space.
They're like, move over, William. Let me show you what we do with monstrosities. I don't care about this flashlight running around BS. Pop a cap, you're done.
Why is the world changing in front of me? That's spaghetti.
What?
No, just because that doesn't happen in Resident Evil, but in Silent Hill it happens all the time.
Oh. I thought that was a question. Why is the world changing in front of me? What? You might need to go to a doctor for that one. I don't know.
Okay, Uso Ewin. What shitty JRPG would you want remade?
Okay.
Moko Friends, but good.
Moko Friends.
Okay, you answer, because I've always been answering first, but you answer, and then I'll elaborate on why Moko Friends was such a god-awful game.
I was gonna hurt Sean's feelings and say Jade Cocoon 2, but I've never played Jade Cocoon 2, so I don't know. I still own it though, Sean. It's on my desk. Don't worry, I'll play it.
Promise?
Yes. I need to get to it. I need to get to it.
I'll tell you what. How about you have to have played it through... Okay, I'm trying to think of what's a good halfway point. Okay. All right. How... Realistically, no, a month from now. Okay. All right. I'm trying to think.
If I get into it a month from now, I'll be done.
Okay, you would be done a month from now? All right, here's my rule. I won't make you buy 3, but so there's 2 halves to the game. Minor spoilers, but the first half of the game is the main elemental dungeons, and then once you get to the bottom of each of those, the second half of the game starts because you open up the Dark World. If you do not get to the start of the Dark World by when Chocobo Mystery Dungeon comes out, you have to buy someone a copy of the game.
Jade Cocoon 2?
Of Jade Cocoon 2.
All right.
Wait, did you say 3? Is there a Jade Cocoon 3?
No, 2.
Just
Oh,
2.
because I thought you said, like, I won't make you buy 3, and I was like...
I'm saying, because I said if I don't meet my Etrian Odyssey goal, I have to buy 3 copies of Etrian Odyssey Nexus and give them out. I'm not going to do that to you, but I will make you... I'm going to hold you to the agreement to buy a copy of Jade Cocoon 2 for someone if you don't do your thing that I'm challenging you on.
Got it. I was like, wait a minute, there's a Jade Cocoon 3 that I didn't know about. No, okay, that makes sense. It's a fair wager.
What?
I would say for me, I don't know, like, if they gave this game a budget, Time and Eternity, that is like one of the worst JRPGs I've ever played. It's just so basic. It had a neat premise, and it had a cool art style, but it was just so simple, and it clearly didn't have a big budget. So it'd be nice. Remake it, more of a budget, better gameplay.
Okay.
White Knight Chronicles.
Oh my god. White Knight Chronicles.
It had sparkle of hope. It was good, but then when you got the knights, they just made the game way too easy because you could summon them in like any battle. They should make it like Coldsteel 2, where you have like 3 turns or like a turn.
Jeez, right? Nick. Spoilers.
I didn't say anything. He knows. Sean knows what's up, but you don't. All right.
Now it's your turn to feel out of the loop. All right. Man. So, are you guys familiar with Dragon Warrior Monsters? It was like a mid '90s, early 2000s Dragon Quest monster collection game.
I know what it is, but I don't know the ins and outs of it.
So Dragon Quest Monsters was basically like you fight enemies, and whenever you beat them in battle, there's a low chance that you'll recruit them, and you use them on your party, and you fight with the monsters. Moko Friends was like that, except it didn't work because Moko Friends was the entire game was about using the power of friendship, and all of the dungeons were only 2 floors long. They never got any longer than 2 floors. Even the post-game dungeon was 2 floors long. And
oh man.
And in Dragon Warrior Monsters, you could feed food items to it. Like if you were facing like a battle that had like 3 different monsters, and one of them you wanted more than the others, there were certain things you could do to increase your chances. So like if you defeated that monster, because it was only like the last monster killed was the one that could join your team. So you made sure you killed them last. You could give them a food item that they really liked, so it would make them much more likely to join you. And in Moko Friends, they had that system, but it never did anything. Like I would use the strongest food item in the game deliberately make sure the one that I wanted to recruit would be the last one standing before I fed it and then killed it. And I knew you couldn't spam it. You couldn't spam the items either. You could only use one food item per battle. So it wasn't like, oh, you didn't use enough of it. I used the strongest item, killed it last, and it would recruit the stupid elemental nugget minion that I already had 50 of. I hated it!
It's very kawaii. I'm looking up screenshots right now. I'm like, this is a very cute little game.
Here is the main character's two biggest personality traits. I'm sleepy, let's eat. That's her entire modus operandi. It's let's save the world so that meat doesn't go out of, existence. Because I'm hungry. Oh, hungry makes me tired. I'm going to take a nap. When it first released on the eShop, there was a glitch in the pricing that made it $9.99 instead of $29.99.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't buy it while that glitch was up, and I wish I had, because even if I had bought it at the glitch price, I would have asked for my money back. It was that bad.
Wow. Huh.
Taylor, you gotta buy it now.
Gotta do it.
That should be the challenge. If you don't play Jikakun 2 or get to that point by the time March 20th hits, you don't have to buy a new copy, but you do have to put it down and play Moko Moko Friends.
Oh boy, I wonder what it goes for these days. Nick, you got to spend a whole $33.50 on it, all right?
Oh god. Okay, let's do our last question because I got to get ready for work.
Okay.
From Laser Glow, what game has the best, or your favorite prologue sequence?
Prologue sequence?
Yeah.
Prologue. Ooh.
What do they mean by that?
Like the beginning of the game, pretty much, before it starts, I guess. Like the first scene in Grandia is when it's not even with the main character, it's with the general talking to his lieutenant and stuff like that, and it tells you like some backstory, and then it goes into the
This is going to be an interesting answer. A prologue that has stuck with me, even though I haven't played through the whole game, is oh god, what is? It was a music based. It had like Chopin. It was like a Tales of style game.
Oh god, what is that called?
Eternal Sonata.
Eternal Sonata. Yeah.
Yep, Eternal Sonata. I just really liked the prologue to that game. I liked the battle mechanics of that game too, but I just never got around to finishing it.
I remember people were, it's like, this is a substitute to Tales, because there's like no Tales for the longest time in that era.
Right.
I'm trying to think of a good prologue. I don't know. Speaking of Tales, I like the Grace's F1 when you're kids, because it kind of sets up the rest of the game, which is kind of neat.
And you could just say Persona 5, because that was a great prologue.
Yeah, well, so Persona 5 is interesting because it's not really a prologue. It's like a flash forward, and then you start from the beginning or whatever, So, does that really count?
I mean, it's the prologue to the game, right? But
yeah,
it could count.
You know what I think is hilarious? Speaking of prologues, so like Kingdom Hearts, it obviously has like this really crazy, pretentious naming scheme for all their games. So the prologue to Kingdom Hearts 3, you boot up Kingdom Hearts 3, and on screen it says Kingdom Hearts 2.9, but it's Roman numeral 2 point numerical 9. I'm like, get out of here.
Just because
it's like pick one or the other. Like you're being crazy.
I think it was poking fun at itself though.
I'd like to think so, but I don't know. Nomura is a psycho.
Don't say that to his face.
If I ever had the pleasure of meeting him, I'd be like, Nomura-san, very nice to meet you. You're a crazy genius.
Very nice to meet you, psycho.
Yeah.
They say that.
When you put it like that. Oh man.
Just tell him it's a new honorific. Instead of Nomura-san, it's Nomura Psycho.
Nomura Psycho, that's it.
Have you guys ever played with one of these?
Game Boy Micro, is that what that is?
Yeah.
my hands are way too fat for something like that.
Just
Absolutely not.
look at this. Like,
Absolutely not.
That's like something for Kayla, like Brian's little daughter, to play.
This is ridiculous. Like, who thought of this idea? I mean, even the screen is even smaller than normal Game Boy Advances.
It was such a good idea. Soulja Boy stole from it.
Oh boy.
For his completely original game console.
Hasn't he done like 3 consoles? They're all
he's
solid.
done, like, right?
Guys, he's just a boy with a dream, you know? He just has a dream.
Is that dream to get cease and desisted?
with 3 different companies?
Oh boy.
Wow.
He thought C and D means cash and drugs.
That's it. He was very confused.
All right, so we have to end it there. I got work tomorrow soon. That's gonna be fun.
I am hungry as heck, dude. I'm gonna get some Chex Mix in me. It's gonna be great.
Everyone's
that sounds awesome.
Everyone's gonna go play their games, and I have to go get ready. I'm
Bruh,
jealous.
Now that I got a motivation to finish this, I might even get like through Labyrinth 4 today if I make it good enough progress.
I have faith in you. You can do it.
Thank you.
Yep. But yeah, Sean, give your details about where to find you, what are you working on, and all that stuff.
All right. Well, if you want to follow me for voiceover related stuff and announcements, definitely follow my Twitter at Sonic Mega. If you want to see a wasteland, go to my Tumblr at Sonic Mega. If you want to send me a follow request and have it be ignored because I already have too many friends, look me up on Facebook, Sean Chiplock. Trust me, there's nothing there that you wouldn't find on Twitter. Those are the main 3. Don't be a stranger. Feel free to DM me if you have any other questions, or if you had submitted a question that didn't end up making it onto the podcast. That's basically it. But definitely stay tuned to my Twitter, because that's where I do my giveaways. It's where I make my announcements. It's where I talk nonstop about Dragalia and Etrian Odyssey. And if you want some, one-on-one time, or I should rephrase that. Recent stuff. If you would like some in-person interaction, by all means, if there's a local convention that you think I'd be a good fit for, feel free to pitch me, because the convention circuit is all about fans making requests and recommendations, because the convention wants to invite people who will help sell attendance. So if fans are saying, we really want this person to come to our con, that's going to do way more than any agency going, we would like you to invite our talent to your convention. So I'll go cross-country, I'll go international, doesn't matter. If you feel like I'd be a good fit, throw in a good word for me and see what happens. That's how I'm ending up at ShudoCon. That's how I ended up at a couple other conventions that I'm waiting to sign off on before I can talk about them. But I have all sorts of fun events I do at conventions. I have Smash for Cash, which if you can beat me in Smash Brothers, you get my money. You literally get money from me. My Dine and Discuss events, the panels that I host, plenty to offer. So Twitter, conventions, etc. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Yep. And yeah, thanks for following. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll be back next week for sure. All right.
Well, thanks for hosting me for your big 100. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. I'm glad we didn't scare you off.
Oh, anything to stay relevant. Anything. Please bring me back again.
Once I finish Shade Cocoon 2, we will.
Well, the Jade Cocoon 2 spoiler cast.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna want to know your team. I will want to know your team so I can tell you what a terrible choice you made.
If it works for me, it works for me. All right.
Did I send you my guide? Did I send you my Jade Cocoon 2 guide?
Yep, it's right on my desktop right there.
All right, you have no excuse, bro. I have literally laid it all out for you.
All right.
Make it happen. You can do it, Nick.
I'll do it.
Faith.
I'll do it. All right. See you guys.